Okay, YouTubers, SQ165 here. This is my second little video on this iMig 200 by Everlast. My main problem was the leaky regulator and shitty hose. I mean, the hose is, I guess, okay, but the fitting's bad. And you got to use another hose clamp just to test out the welder to see if it was any good. I did that, but come to find out, I had to buy, I ended up buying a proper hose and a different regulator from an Olson from Harbor Freight, and it was like $89. The hose was like 22 bucks. And, I tried that hose with this gauge here, and it didn't physically leak on the outside because I sprayed it with Windex. That's how you test to see, just like you do with propane, and it doesn't physically leak, but it hisses like a bastard inside, and it's leaking, and you're going to lose a lot of gas, and so I bought this one day and put it together the next. I didn't put it together until the next day, and I wasn't feeling good, and so I couldn't call anybody over at Everlast to ask anything. They're only open from Monday through Friday. But I did do some test welds with this, and it seems to weld pretty decently. I mean, it's, I think my other welder, my North Star, welds better with a stick than this does. And but this is 7018 up top and 6013 on the bottom. It's okay, and I usually try to give worst case scenario metal, I mean, because I do repairs. I'm like, probably a lot of guys out there, I just use this for repairs. That come off an old boat trailer that had been sitting in the salt water, so that metal's not the greatest. And then I did these MIG welds here, and this is all done on 120, by the way. I wanted to see how the hell it would work. That's why I bought this welder for, is because it has versatility. I had a Millermatic 212 that is a fantastic machine. It's an analog machine, but it don't, 220. It's not portable, though. It's heavy. This is portable, so this is the whole reason why I bought this machine. And then I did some MIG welds, like I said, but I got these that splatter in there, and I just started using that 75-25, and they said that this shit would clean up. Well, I never used that before. I used to use CO2, and I never got that much splatter out of it. And I don't know, because it burns hotter. I don't know what the deal is. Maybe somebody out there could explain that to me. But it is, this is kind of metal that's been sitting out in the weather, it's rusted, and I just knocked the scale off it and seen what it would do, because like I said, I make repairs. That's all that's basically what I do with my welders. Anyhow, so my main bitch is, just like I said, this regulator that leaks in the hose that's bad. $100 later, I'm welding with it. I can say this. I have another Chinese welder. It's a North Star Coplay. And it's an AC/DC stick and TIG, a 200 amp welder. And the stick welder welds a lot better on that machine than this one does. This one welds okay with 3/32 rod. I think you could probably weld up with 1/8 rod on this. My other one does. But maybe I need to learn to adjust this a little better with the stick. Maybe I'm not doing something right. But the MIG welder works pretty damn good, and that's kind of what I bought it for. And by the way, those welds were done with 030 wire, and so I had a little bit higher hopes, because I thought it would have been a much better welder than the North Star, and I was apprehensive about buying that machine at first. But boy, I'll tell you what, if I had to do it again and I had the chance to buy a North Star MIG welder like this, I don't know, man. With the way the components now, I see how they are, I'm telling you, I'd buy the North Star. And they're about the same price when it comes down to it. Anyhow, that's my little spiel on this. Not that I won't use this, and it might end up being fine, but it's just disheartening when you got to go out and spend another $100 to get the goddamn thing to work right. Just pisses me off. Anyhow, SQ Hunter out.